What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cam Show. NBA Finals Game 4 was iconic. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors and shout out to the best NBA player right now in the finals, Steph Curry. Dropped 43 points and 10 rebounds, a nice double-double. Look, that's just Steph Curry. That's the greatness of Steph Curry. People want to minimize Steph Curry. Look, the best shooter the game has ever seen. And in my opinion, Steph Curry's in the top 5 all time. I know that might sound ignorant and crazy, but to me, Steph Curry, the way he took over Game 4, probably one of his best performances I've ever seen in NBA Finals. And I'm just like, for Steph Curry, not NBA Finals in general, but for Steph Curry, I mean, probably one of the best games I've ever seen him play. I mean, everything was going right for Steph. Obviously dropped 43, but I think the X factor for Golden State Warriors to win this game was Andrew Wiggins. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, 16 rebounds, 17 points. He came up big, and I look at Andrew Wiggins and say, why was he the X factor for Golden State? Well, you know, he just had the big buckets after big buckets in crucial moments when it seemed like Boston was really going to run away with this. And I say, you know what? I think the Warriors actually stole this game. Kind of like Boston stole Game 1. It's kind of like similar to this. I mean, Boston was really controlling the game most of the game. They were up in the first half, went up in the third quarter, and then come the fourth quarter, we see Golden State come back. What I don't like about Golden State's mentality for Coach Steve Kerr was don't even start Steph Curry in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is the NBA Finals. You guys down or 2-1 in this, and I don't understand it. Why not start Steph Curry in the fourth quarter? It doesn't make sense to me. End up panning out for the better for Golden State, but I just think for Steve Kerr, I don't understand why you take out Steph Curry in the fourth quarter. I don't get it. If you're going to take out Steph Curry, have it in the first half. This is the NBA Finals here, dude. This is for all the marbles, and you're going to take them out. I don't get that. But they still won the game. I mean, Jordan Poole coming off the bench with 14 points. Looney, he has 11 boards and 6 points. I mean, Looney really stepped up when he needed to. I mean, he really played the best game I've seen Looney play all series, was definitely in Game 4. He came up big. Klay Thompson had 18 points. It was really a quiet 18 points. I want to give Klay Thompson a shout out, not on offense, but the defensive end, to really lock up. He locked up Jaylen Brown late in the fourth quarter, really caused him some problems. And I think Jaylen Brown, he got in that little phase in the fourth quarter. We saw, especially late in the fourth quarter, was just like, what's Jaylen Brown trying to do? Is he trying to be Superman? Is he trying to be the hero? I just think he was trying to do a little bit too much. But, you know, Tatum, he only had 3 points in the fourth quarter. You know, shout out to Wiggins for holding him there. I mean, he had 23 all game for Tatum, but for Wiggins holding him to 3 points in the fourth quarter, that's a win. But obviously, Marcus Smart, he went off. I think Marcus Smart is really playing probably the best basketball consistently for the Boston Celtics. I mean, get day in and day out, game in and game out. I think Marcus Smart always shows up and performs great. Shout out to him. But I just think Jaylen Brown, he had 21 points. Both teams over 10 plus turnovers, which is kind of sloppy, you know, and I think that's going to really clean up in Game 5. But like I said from the beginning, this series was going to come back to Golden State tied up 2-2, and it's really how I expected it. Boston Game 3, Golden State came back in Game 4. Now we're going back for Game 5, tied up. I think this series, it looks like it's going to go 7. It really does. But I think for Golden State in Game 5, you're playing at home. This is a game that Golden State needs to win, okay? You don't want to afford to lose this game and then go to Game 6 in Boston, okay, down 3-2. You want to go to Boston up 3-2 to where you can afford to lose Game 6 if you're up 3-2. If you're Golden State, you can say, you know what, we can take it out here. We have less pressure. I get all that. Obviously, they're playing to win it. But, you know, if you can afford to take it out, you can take it out. But I just think right now the momentum is definitely in Golden State's favor. Hey, it's got to be, dude. I mean, what they're doing right now, I mean, for Boston, you know, it is kind of disappointing in a way. You know, Derek White coming off the bench, he had 16 points. I think even for Boston, I'd say play Derek White more. I mean, he's more of an offensive threat. That's what you need against the Golden State Warriors because we know Golden State can really come back under a minute, and they can score like 10 to 15 points under a minute. That's how quickly Golden State Warriors can make these runs. and just can really come on you just like that. But what a performance by Steph Curry. I mean, 43 points, and I kind of felt that. I just felt like, hey, man, this is one of Steph Curry's most iconic performances, and I think this was really a legacy game for Steph because Steph understood that, hey, if we go down 3-1, going back to Golden State, it's just not going to be the same as tied up 2-2, and really all the pressure's on us. Our backs are against the wall. So I think Steph understood that, hey, I got to have an A-plus performance tonight. I got to have a top 5 performance of my career, not just in the NBA Finals, just in general, all around. Regular season, playoff, NBA Finals. This was definitely Steph Curry's top 5 performances we have seen, dude. Just the magnitude of it. You guys are down or 2-1, and really in the fourth quarter, they were down most of the fourth quarter. I mean, yes, we could say down 2-4 points, whatever, but at the end of the day, they were still trying to climb back, and that's why I say Andrew Wiggins was the X factor in this. Andrew Wiggins got big rebounds, offensive rebounds after offensive rebounds where he got putbacks. He got easy putbacks. I would say about 6 to 8 points were just off hustle and putbacks from Andrew Wiggins. And Andrew Wiggins, I think if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm saying, Andrew, you can get to the cup every time. You get to the basket every time. I mean, that's Andrew Wiggins. He's a freak athlete. And I would say, Andrew, don't necessarily always shoot the three. He's not a three-point shooter. That's not what he's special at. I say get to the cup, dude. Facilitate. If 2 people are going to come down on you, kick it out, hit the 3 from Clay or Steph. I just think, Jordan Poole's playing great as well. But I think Wiggins, man, he's the X factor in this. He's the second best player right now for Golden State behind Steph Curry consistently. Game in and game out. I just think Wiggins is there. He's that guy that got him on a trade from Minnesota. I think adding Andrew Wiggins to Golden State was definitely an X factor. And I even heard Stephen A. Smith, this was a while ago because Wiggins didn't want to get vaccinated. They were like, well, he should release Wiggins. Imagine if the Warriors did release Wiggins when that COVID time period happened and Wiggins didn't want to get vaccinated. Imagine if they would have got released Wiggins. They would not be in this series right now. Wiggins is so important. He's such a freak athlete, a great defender, to where he's matching on Tatum right now. And really, we're used to seeing Tatum going for 30-plus a game. Tatum, really a quiet 23. And there were some turnovers there where it wasn't, nice about it. But I just think the Warriors, they battled. And Steph Curry, he really stepped it up, dude. And a lot of the threes that Steph Curry shot in Game 4, they were in ones, dude. There was probably 2 or 3 3-point shots that Steph Curry made where it should have been a foul. It should have been a 4-point play, at least 2 of them. I mean, dude, they're hitting him in the back, dude, and he's falling down. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 were flops, but there were a couple where he really did get hit from the back. He got hit from the side. You could see it. And Steph's looking at the refs like, bro, really? We're just going to let them do this, dude? I'm getting fouled every time I shoot a 3 from deep, and they're not giving him space to land. I just think, Boston, they wanted Boston to win this game. You could tell by the way the calls were going. Yes, there were some calls as well with Wiggins. They could have got an offensive charge on Wiggins, which they didn't call it, which I thought, in theory, in game speed, it was probably a good no call. There's some calls that really should be no calls, and nowadays they're calling it. But I would say from Steph, from him shooting the 3, it's like, dude, if he's getting touched when he shoots the 3, that's a foul, dude. You can't touch a 3-point shooter. I mean, anybody who understands the game of basketball understands that you just can't touch him, dude. Or else, any 3-point shooter is going to understand if I get touched, I'm going to fall. Even if it's an inch, dude, it doesn't matter. Draw the contact. But Steph really did get hit on a couple of those 3s where it's just like, wow, dude. Really, Steph should have more than 43 this game. Steph should have had 46, 47 with the right calls. But that's just part of the game, right? The NBA, I think sometimes it can be fluky with the calls. And we've even seen in the past where there were NBA refs that were paid to blow calls, to swing the game. So I just think, with this game, it was crazy. I just think for Coach Steve Kerr, for Steph Curry, man, from here on out, dude, I even said from game 1, like, you got to play Steph Curry the whole second half. I didn't like him taking him out in the fourth quarter. I get rest him up, whatever. But Steph understands that this was a huge game here. Let's say they didn't come back. Let's say the Celtics got this game 4. We're looking at Steve Kerr saying, why take Steph out, dude? Just like he did, I believe it was in game 3, where they battled back and Steph really took the lead. I think it was 1 or 2 points. And then he does the same thing. Steve Kerr takes him out at the end of the third, into the fourth, which I don't understand. It's just like, for me, if I'm a coach and I'm coaching Steph Curry, dude, I get it. If he needs a rest, I'll give him a rest. But this is the NBA Finals here. This is our regular season, so I just think, it ended up working out for Golden State, okay? I'll give him that. But I think what Steve Kerr did the best was take out Draymond Green in the fourth quarter and put in Poole to get more offensive flow, and it really panned out here. Now, for Draymond, he's so valuable to the Golden State Warriors. He's such, the heart and soul of that team. He's that guy to do all the dirty work. That's what you need. But I think for what Steve Kerr did was, hey, we need more offense right now, so I'm going to take out Draymond and substitute him back in for the defense. I think that was a great coaching move by Steve Kerr, but looking at the bigger picture, it's just like, Steve Kerr, you got the best player in the NBA right now that's currently playing, top 3 in the NBA. I would say him and LeBron are the top NBA players today, right now, and obviously Giannis, I would throw in there as well. But I just think for Steph Curry, man, even Klay Thompson, when Klay got out of the game in the fourth quarter, Klay was kind of upset. And you could kind of see that he wanted to be in the game. He wanted to play the game. He didn't want to come out. And I think, for a coach, when you see players, especially your star players like Klay Thompson, not wanting to sit, dude, this is the NBA Finals. I think in Game 5 here, we're going to see a little different change of speed from both teams, but especially for the Golden State Warriors and Steve Kerr. You got to have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry on the floor the whole fourth quarter, okay? I don't care if you're up by 5 or 10 points, dude. At least have one of them in. At least Steph Curry. You could rest Klay Thompson because he battled injuries in the past, but I think for Steph Curry, you got to have him in the full game, dude. You got to. And I think Steph Curry, say the Warriors, and my prediction is correct, that the Golden State Warriors do win the NBA Finals. And I'm thinking for Steph Curry, where does this put his legacy? He's got 4 NBA championships, 1 NBA Finals MVP, obviously will be this year in 2022. What are they going to say about Steph, dude? To me, I still believe he's a top 5. I still would take him over Magic Johnson, which a lot of people look at me crazy, but just the way Steph Curry just takes over games, just like this game, dude, just took it over, hitting big shot after big shot, and one of the biggest shots that I saw Steph Curry hit wasn't even a three-pointer, it was really a drive. They were double teaming him, then he did a little floater, mid-range floater that made him go up by 3 points, and that was a huge bucket. They were only up by 1 at the time. Steph Curry hit that floater to really go up. I believe it was 3, maybe it was 5, but at that time it was such a big bucket where it was just a relief for the Golden State Warriors. Even though it was a one-possession game, it was one of those shots where it was like, yes, dude, we're only up by 3, but at the same time it feels like we're up like a touchdown in the NFL. It's like we're up, dude. We can finally breathe a little bit to where Golden State's normally used to battling back, So I think this was an epic, iconic Game 4 for Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Now, on the flip side for Boston Celtics, what do they need to do? They need to get Tatum. Tatum needs to get involved more on the offensive end. He's got to take more shots. He's got to be more aggressive. And I think Jaylen Brown, he's been aggressive, and I think he's a little too aggressive in the Game 4 in the fourth quarter. But I just think Tatum's got to get in that groove. Tatum's got to go for 30-plus for Boston to be in this game. Derek White needs to continue what he needs to do. Marcus Smart's playing well. I just think for the Boston Celtics, man, you got to hit your shots when you need to. I mean, you're playing the Golden State Warriors here, okay? Like, they will make you pay for missing second chance opportunities for points back, for getting offensive rebounds, getting defensive rebounds when you need to. I just think for the Boston Celtics, you gotta guard Steph Curry different too. When Steph Curry's coming off these screens and you're giving him 2 or 3 feet, well, hey, it's over. Steph's gonna wet that every time. I think if you're Boston going into Game 5 defensively, you gotta double team Curry every time those screens are established. You have to. If I'm a coach and I'm playing Steph Curry, I'm saying, you know what, let somebody else beat you besides Steph Curry. Because if they're going to continue to guard Steph Curry the way they're going, Steph Curry's going to go for 30-plus every single game here on out, just like he's been doing, or maybe even 40-plus. You just have to throw something different. Make somebody else hit the open shot. I can live with that. Obviously not Klay Thompson, but somebody like an Andrew Wiggins. If Andrew Wiggins is hitting his threes, which he did hit a couple in Game 4, but it's like you can live with that. If you're the Boston Celtics, you can live with Draymond hitting a jumper, which Draymond is shooting terribly right now, right? But I still think Draymond is such a big piece for the Golden State Warriors, which any basketball fan, true basketball fans understand that without Draymond, Golden State would not be in the spot, okay? And the same thing with Steph and Klay, even Andrew Wiggins. We could say all these pieces add up. But I just think looking at the bigger picture for Golden State coming into this game, like I'm saying, if I'm Steve Kerr, not just Steph Curry's got to step up. Obviously, Steph Curry's great, right? I just feel like they're gonna double team Steph. They're gonna try to get Steph out of the game. I just think if I'm a role player for Golden State, I'm saying, look, this is your time right here. Hit the shots. Pass it off to the open man. Do the better play. And we saw Gary Payne come in, Junior come in, played great. Didn't play that many minutes, but he had a couple big rebounds, a couple big assists to Steph Curry, where it's just like that's such a momentum shift. These plays that add up in the end, man, they really do. But I would say, the Warriors clawed back, and I would, in theory, same thing, say they stole this game just like Boston stole game 1. So game 5 on Monday, I cannot wait for this. Like I said, my prediction, I'm still sticking to the Golden State Warriors. Why? Because of Steph Curry. Point blank period. Steph Curry, top 5 greatest players to ever play the game. Obviously the greatest shooter. I just think Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, the way the Golden State Warriors are playing right now, Looney as well. I'm telling you, dude, the Warriors, I got them, like I said, in 6 or 7, which will probably go 7, but I can't wait for game 5. But I just think game 4 was such a legacy game for Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. They clawed back, and they got another big road game yet again in Boston. I think this is huge, and I think, all the momentum's going to the the Golden State Warriors. I cannot wait. Game 5 coming up. Let's go!